Scotland's First Minister has said the respite will not be the same in Scotland as the four nations meet to work on a joint approach. While saying she hopes there will be an agreement on a common framework, she warned the precise definition of household will vary. It comes despite Downing Street saying it is working with devolved nations to try to create a UK-wide approach to the relaxation of restrictions over Christmas. Brexit live, we voted to take back control. Gove erupts at EU and warns no deal now real. Sturgeon said during a press conference this afternoon, "I will take part in a COBRA meeting later today where it is hoped that we will agree a common framework, albeit that some details, for example on the precise definition of household, might differ to reflect the different circumstances in each nation. I know everyone has a desire to see loved ones over the festive period. However, there is also a very real and legitimate anxiety that doing so could put those we love at risk, set back our progress as a country and result in unnecessary deaths and suffering." Since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, Scotland has imposed different rules compared to England, such as not including under 12s in limits on numbers. According to the BBC, people might be allowed to meet in England with two other households during a 5-day period over Christmas, likely to be around 23-27 of December. Welsh First Minister Mark Drakeford has also warned any loosening of restrictions over the festive period will inevitably lead to more cases of the virus. He told the Welsh Parliament, "The Cabinet will meet again before the end of this week to see whether there are lessons for us to draw from what is happening elsewhere and a common approach across the United Kingdom in the lead-up to the Christmas period and importantly as well, in the way in which we will all have to deal with the inevitable consequences of the relaxation, which will drive a rise of coronavirus. That is inevitable and we need to prepare together to cope with the consequences." This comes after Mr. Johnson announced the current national lockdown will end on December 2 but warned Christmas will not be the same this year. The Prime Minister said, "By maintaining the pressure on the virus we can also enable people to see more of their family and friends over Christmas. I can't say Christmas will be normal this year, but in a period of adversity, time spent with loved ones is even more precious for people of all faiths and none. We all want some kind of Christmas. We need it, we certainly feel we deserve it. But what we don't want is to throw caution to the winds and allow the virus to flare up again, forcing us all back into a national lockdown in January." However, he warned it is up to families to make a careful judgment on visiting elderly relatives. Mr. Johnson continued, "But this virus obviously is not going to grant a Christmas truce. It doesn't know it's Christmas. Families will need to make a careful judgment about visiting elderly relatives." However, while announcing the end to current lockdown restrictions, Mr. Johnson confirmed a new, harsher tier system will be introduced. This news has been met with backlash from the Labour Party as well as a number of Tory MPs. Sir Graham Brady, chairman of the influential 1922 committee, told the BBC's World at 1 he is unlikely to support the Prime Minister's new measures. He said, "My concern is that huge numbers of businesses, particularly but not exclusively in the hospitality sector, have been losing money under Tier 2 already. There is a very tight limit to how much longer than they can go on doing without seeing even bigger levels of unemployment, and particularly youth unemployment. And we know that if we see that big economic hit, in terms of unemployment, in terms of opportunities for young people, the effects, not just economically, but the other health impacts, physical health and mental health, are enormous, and that is the legacy we could be living with for years to come." The post-lockdown system is expected to last until at least March 31, more than a year since the first national lockdown was imposed. Indoor mixing will be banned in any Tier 2 regions and above, with hospitality venues only being allowed to serve alcohol with a substantial meal. In Tier 3, pubs and restaurants will be permitted to offer takeaway services only, with indoor entertainment venues having to close.